Going out now, Mrs. Carmody. Please stand aside.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for endings of horror flicks that were baffling, underwhelming, or just plain lazy to the point that fans took issue. Yes, spoilers lay ahead.
As everyone knows by now, traces of the neurotoxin have been found in some plants and trees.
Number 10, Saw 3D.
No! Game over.
No! While the Saw franchise lost steam long before its 7th installment, fans still wanted a decent conclusion in the final chapter. Instead, they got what felt like a tacked-on ending. After he kills Jill Tuck, widow of John Jigsaw Kramer, the unhinged detective Mark Hoffman gets snatched by 3 people wearing the infamous pig masks. It's then revealed that Dr. Lawrence Gordon not only survived after amputating his foot in the first film, he also became a Jigsaw apprentice.
Hello, Dr. Gordon. You are perhaps my greatest asset.
Many felt that it was a lazy choice to bring Gordon back just to make him another acolyte. One who apparently worked on seemingly every trap after Kramer nursed him back to health. A flashback attempts and mostly fails to answer our lingering questions.
Without you, my work over the last few years would not have been possible.
Number 9, Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Just know that these gifts come with certain burdens. Your real name is Edith Rose Sawyer.
This 2013 requel is the 7th TCM project in the franchise's history, but acts as a direct follow-up to the events of the 1974 original. Alexandra Daddario plays Heather Miller, a young woman who heads to Texas to collect an inheritance after her biological grandmother's passing. Yes, Heather is Leatherface's cousin.
The decision to stay is yours. Just remember, you're Sawyer, and this is home.
Creating a new mythology within an established series is nothing new, and oftentimes works well. But making the Sawyer cannibal clan into empathetic victims was a choice. Some fans didn't like Texas Chainsaw 3D in general, but for others, their hate comes down to a single cringeworthy line of dialogue in the final showdown. Daddario has said that she didn't like it either, but somehow it still made the cut.
That's right. Do your thing, cuz.
Number 8, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Years after his harrowing Jason Voorhees encounter left him traumatized, we find Tommy Jarvis staying at Pinehurst Halfway House. And it doesn't take long for bodies to start piling up. The maniac behind the hockey mask was revenge-fueled paramedic and secret father Roy Burns, who seemingly donned Jason cosplay and started killing after his son Joey was axe-murdered by another Pinehurst patient.
We found this on Roy. The kid who was axed to death at the woodpile was Roy's son.
When you go to see a Friday the 13th movie, you expect to see the infamous Jason in all his bloody glory. So is it any surprise that fans absolutely hated A New Beginning, the only Jason-less Friday the 13th movie? Before the credits roll, Tommy wears the mask, implying he'll be the next one to wield a machete. But that doesn't go anywhere. Number 7, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Tommy, where is he? It worked. Power of the runes stopped him.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a Halloween fan who actually liked the Cult of Thorn plotline in The Curse of Michael Myers. Introducing supernatural elements into an otherwise grounded horror franchise was as nonsensical as it was baffling. The theatrical ending sees Michael Myers injected with green liquid by Tommy Doyle, who proceeds to beat him with a pipe and leaves with Kara and the kids. The last thing we see is Michael's mask as Dr. Loomis screams somewhere in the distance. Halloween 666, the producer's cut, was released in 2014, showing a more Thorn-heavy ending involving ruins and Loomis unwillingly becoming the new leader. Given the choice of ambiguity or cult mysticism, viewers chose neither.
Come with us.
No, I have a little business to attend to here.
Number 6, It, Chapter 2.
I didn't know if any of you would, after all this time, but of course you came. An oath is an oath.
27 years after their first showdown with Pennywise, the remaining members of the Losers Club reluctantly return to Derry to finish the job. Mike, Bill, Ben, Beverly, Richie, and Eddie find themselves under the Neibolt house face to face with It, in giant spider form. A few of them start hurling insults at the clown-spider hybrid and taunting the creature until it shrinks to a more killable size.
I am the eater of worlds.
Not to us, you're not. You're just a clown.
After everything the losers went through, it turns out that all it took was hurting its feelings. Despite accounting for a large portion of the nearly 3-hour runtime, this final act feels a bit rushed. To say it was anticlimactic would be an understatement. However, we appreciate the meta joke about Bill's bad endings, especially coming from Stephen King.
You, want me to sign it for you?
Nah, I didn't like the ending.
Number 5. High Tension. An ending can ruin an entire movie, and for a lot of people, that is what happened with this 2003 French horror flick. The story follows friends Alex and Marie running from a deranged serial killer who murdered Alex's family. Or so we're made to think. After all of the carnage, Marie is revealed to be the actual killer, and the terrifying man we thought was chasing them didn't exist outside of her mind. This final twist is effectively shocking, but not in an exciting way. It's illogical to the events we watched unfold, and feels like the equivalent to the "it was all a dream" trope. Instead of packing the psychological punch that was probably intended, it left fans feeling like they just wasted 90 minutes.
Vous êtes sûr qu'elle ne me voit pas?
Number 4. The Mist.
You can't go out. I won't allow it.
Won't allow it?
It's against God's will. Don't you know that by now?
The Mist has one of the most controversial and polarizing endings in horror. And even if you haven't seen Frank Darabont's film adaptation of Stephen King's 1980 novella, you've likely heard horror fans complaining about its frustrating ending. As David Drayton, his son Billy, and 3 others try to escape the mysterious creatures of the Mist, their vehicle runs out of gas. David uses his last 4 bullets to give everyone but himself a merciful death. Minutes later, the military arrives, making his agonizing decision premature and ultimately pointless. While not necessarily a bad ending, the tragic irony of David's poor choices just sends some people into a fit of rage. Number 3. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
Freddy's dead.
Freddy Krueger is known for his dark humor, but the silliness of the character increased with each A Nightmare on Elm Street film. By the 6th and final entry in the original saga, Freddy was more slapstick comedy than true horror. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare is an absolute fever dream of a movie full of terrible CGI and too many pop culture parodies.
Question.
Yeah! What do you want? Looks like a frying pan and some eggs to me.
For a villain who survived many attempted killings, surely his ultimate end will be epic, or at least satisfying, right? Well, that depends on if you think Maggie/Catherine Krueger blowing him up with a pipe bomb is epic. For die-hard Nightmare fans, Freddy's send-off was just disrespectful to the horror icon.
Happy Father's Day.
Number 2. The Happening.
Kay from Mississippi wants to know why it started so suddenly on a Tuesday at 8:33 and then ended so suddenly at 9:27 the next morning.
The problem people have with the end to M. Night Shyamalan's eco-horror The Happening is that it doesn't really have one. The event causing everyone to take their own lives just sort of stops, allowing Elliot and Alma to live a normal life.
I found the hair clip.
You don't want to be late for the first day schools are open.
Apparently, the plant chemical infecting people moved out of the area to cause chaos in Paris, France. But how and why this happens is anyone's guess. Shyamalan doesn't employ his signature twist ending either. This movie has earned a reputation as one of the worst films in his filmography and in the horror thriller genre.
To be perfectly honest, this was an act of nature, and we'll never fully understand it.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. April Fool's Day. It was all just a prank. Not totally surprising, but still annoying.
Buck Williams, makeup artist, par excellence.
Yeah, I got something for you, big guy. Here, catch. These were just some old props that I redressed with some of the help from Muffy's photographs.
Sure fooled me.
Truth or Dare. Our two heroines prolong their lives by infecting others with an unbeatable deadly game.
It can happen anywhere, and it can come from anyone. I'm so sorry, but I have to ask you. Truth or dare?
The Turning. A non-ending that left audiences stunned, then angry. "47 meters down." The director apparently had to push to keep this ending, and we're not sure why.
Oh, we made it. We made it.
The Village. Another M. Night Shyamalan twist that still divides audiences.
Where are you from?
The woods.
You came from the woods. In there?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Devil Inside.
Listen to me. I'm a priest. Please go and help those people.
Found footage and demon possession films aren't everyone's cup of tea. But combining the two subgenres into one film was intriguing enough to get horror fans to theaters in 2012. However, The Devil Inside left audiences confused, unsatisfied, and most of all, furious. Isabella Rossi works with Michael, a filmmaker, and two priests to document her mother's multi-demon possession.
The job of science to try to sort out what is a reasonable, plausible explanation.
But science can't explain everything, such as a person levitating 2 feet off the ground during an exorcism.
3 of the 4 demons possess them, leading to one priest's death and a possessed Michael driving him, Isabella, and the other priest into oncoming traffic. Moviegoers reported booing en masse after the abrupt ending and title card instructing audiences to find more information on a website. Ambiguous endings aren't inherently bad, but requiring viewers to go online is incredibly lazy and guaranteed to inspire rage. What infuriating horror movie ending had you seeing Red? Did it make the list? Let us know in the comments.
I think we're breaking up with you, Tina.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.